Rad Chicks, Too Rad Chicks, weekly confessions, adventures, and obsessions. Good day. Welcome to Too Rad Chicks.
My name is Deanne Love, and I am your however much weed $20 can buy.
Do we need to intro that?
I just pulled a card from Cards Against Humanity because I couldn't think of what my title was this week. So I don't know how much weed $20 can buy. Probably not a lot in Australia, I'm guessing.
To know.
Who are you?
I am your Uber driver.
Where are we going?
Anywhere you want.
Because okay. Well,
we can go. I got a
toilet.
fast car. We can go anywhere. Uluru.
Yes. Uluru.
The Great Barrier
Reef. I feel like we're going to go to Uluru.
The 12 Apostles.
Ooh, have you been there? I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been to
So
the Great
nice.
Barrier Reef?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, of course. You lived in
I lived on it.
Me too.
In it.
The only place, not the only place, but the place that I haven't been in Australia that I would love to go is Uluru, which is the centre of our magical island and very sacred Indigenous land. And one day I'm going to drive my van there.
Epic.
Yep. Very epic. Yes. Okay. Let's get to it because so much has happened since last time. What's your confession?
My confession is I recently had a pap smear.
Good woman.
Mm-hmm.
How was it?
It was good. It was actually surprisingly comfortable. I think I drew a lucky card there and got someone who knew really what they were doing.
Cool.
So I felt very safe.
And was it just a regular checkup? Like they said, hey, you and the pap haven't seen each other for a while.
Yeah.
Let's get together. Oh, yeah. That's good.
I got a message from my doctor and they were like, hey, you got to come back in. It's time.
That's so awesome. Is that your personality? Like when you get little reminders, like, you know, on your phone or from the doctor?
Yeah,
or from
usually.
the
I'm like, oh, this is important.
And so you just do it.
Clear my schedule.
Smart.
Clear it.
Do you?
Yeah, I got to get it. Otherwise, it's only just going to float around in my mind. You know?
Yep. That's what I do. Let it float around in my mind. No. I just let it go and forget to do it for 10 years.
Yeah, right.
Not good. Don't do that, humans, especially women with beautiful body parts. Okay, what else happened?
Well, I got the results back.
Okay.
And I have to go and have my first gynecologist appointment.
How does that make you feel?
Well, initially I was like, I was kind of tired when I got the phone call as well, which is another confession. You don't want to know me when I'm tired. Or I just feel like I need to close my eyes, lay down and close my eyes.
That's what people do when they're tired.
Yeah. So I was actually on my way home to have a nap in the afternoon, which I don't do all the time, but I needed it. I was like, I really need this. Too much ASMR. So, and then I got the phone call and I was like,
did you know it was the doctor? Did it come up?
Oh yeah, I did. I did know. Well, I actually missed a phone call from the doctor, which I thought was kind of strange because the week before, I'd been told to go to call the doctor a week after my appointment, which I did. And then the ladies at reception were like, yeah, no, your results are fine, because they must put a note if you need to see the doctor again. And they're like, no, your results are fine. So I was like, oh yeah, winning.
Cool.
Survived another pap smear.
Sorted.
But then, I got a phone call and they were like, it was my doctor and he was like, oh, you know, we need to book you in to see the gynae. And I was like, oh my gosh. But then he also said, I mean, in the same breath, he was like, this is quite common, and it is common that your results from the gynecologist can come back clear,
Right, so it's
so it's fine.
round 2 of
So
the check-in.
yeah, so I mean, the first initial thought, I was like, oh God, like it's kind of scary, like thinking that,
like the results are just not automatically clear. Like there's
yeah,
something else.
yeah.
Is that the thought?
I think it was more, I think it was kind of like, not that it's not clear, but also just like, oh wow, like, okay, if this is going to be quite serious, like, I guess there was questions that were coming up, but I was like, you know what, you can't do anything about any of this now.
Yeah.
So just have sleep.
Yes.
Which I did, and I woke up feeling way better about everything. But still kind of, I guess it made me question like, oh, so another friend of mine, actually, she's like recently someone told her like comparing everything to death, like any decision you're making. And I was like, yeah, like, oh, well, if this is quite serious, like, am I living how I want to live my life? Am I, am I doing what I want to do, basically? And it was a good, like, kind of question to ask myself and, kind of check in.
Yeah, for sure. In that moment. So, because, life can be going along and everything's fine. And then suddenly something happens. It could be anything because that's the kind of weirdness and mystery that we live in. But, so it's a call from the doctor and your mind just went to, because the mind is a very interesting, tricky, powerful thing. So it just went to all these like, like a crazy spiral of thoughts.
Especially being tired.
Yes.
Like, it's just like, it was just like, oh my God. Like,
yes.
It felt.
Actually, I say, so Grace messaged me, but she didn't message anything like in particular, just something like kind of a cryptic clue as to what was going on. And even in those messages, she was not herself. I was like, yeah, whatevs. And then I was like, wait. And it's literally letters, black letters on a white or grey screen. Like there's nothing, like, but I could even intuit that it's like, something's going on.
That's funny.
I know. I
didn't even know. Well, I think you talk. Yeah. Yeah. I remember you were like, I need medical attention because Deanne had cut her finger trying to lick out the chocolate sauce.
It's serious.
It was really serious.
But now I feel bad because I was telling you I have this medical emergency, which is literally like a 1 millimeter cut from a plastic container because I was greedily trying to get the last drop of chocolate sauce out. And I'm saying to Grace, oh, I need medical attention. And then Grace replied with something like, so do I or whatever.
Yeah, me too.
And then nothing, or maybe like 3 messages like, oh, I can't tell you what it is, nothing or whatever. And I was like,
wait, didn't you delete Instagram as well in this? So how
many confessions can one woman make?
I took a nap and then I saw Deanne later that afternoon and she had informed me that she deleted Instagram, but I didn't even know about it because I was sleeping for the whole time, so it didn't last that long.
Well, it didn't last long because then I realized I need Instagram for my work.
Yeah, so true.
I don't even know why. I was clearly on like day 26 or 7 of my cycle and I was like, it
makes sense. The chocolate,
cutting
sauce.
my finger, feeling sorry for myself, being like, I don't know how to interpret text messages. I should stop messaging everyone in my life. I'm going to delete Instagram. That is my thought process for anyone that's wondering how insane my brain is. It's always very passive and weird. Okay, so your brain spiraled.
Mm-hmm. But then it was fine. Well, it spirals until, my doctor gave me a plan, basically. He was like, these are your options. And I was like, okay, awesome. I'd like to do this as soon as I can, basically. So he gave me a referral to somebody who their first available appointment wasn't until like October.
That's so
the end of
far
October. We're in
away.
June. Well, we were in June. We've just hit July today. But
Yeah.
and then I was like, that's so far away. And that's a long time to kind of like think about all those things.
Be wondering.
But also in the same breath as I say that, I feel really like I just don't feel like in the moment I was like, oh my gosh, like chaos, kind of like, you know,
yeah.
or you kind of just go worse, like, you know, outcomes or whatever. But I feel really like comfortable and I'm not really worried about it now. Anyway, I spoke to my doctor to see if we could pull some strings to kind of like see someone sooner. So I actually managed to sort that out today. So
Cool.
yeah, my appointment is on Thursday.
Awesome.
Wait, is it next Thursday or this Thursday?
Good for following things up and understanding that ignoring health or any doesn't make it go away.
No.
It probably just has that like thing that the idle mind does and gets really stressed out about stuff when you don't know the answers and you actually don't know. Because the other thing that I was thinking of when you were just saying that is because we are so healthy and we are like always pretty much of good, amazing, sound health, body, mind, when things like this happen, it can be like a real shock to the system. And also I'm reminded of this when I do go to the doctors that so many people are a huge part of the health system. Like they're getting results back all the time. Like they're like, no, this is not working. No, you've got this. No. And they're just kind of used to it. But I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm so not a part of the medical system. So it's an even bigger like, there's something wrong with my body. But that's not actually what's happening. It's just like you're going for another checkup.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah. But I feel like that. You kind of like, oh my gosh, what do you mean there's something wrong with me? I'm completely fine. Look at me. I can touch my head and rub, like pat my head and rub my belly at the same time.
I'm not passing out. Yeah, all those crazy things. So it's cool that you're onto it.
Yeah, onto it.
Totally onto it on Thursday.
So, yeah, that's my confession. What's yours?
Well, oh my gosh. Okay, there are so many different things that I could actually talk about and so much beautiful stuff and big things and shifting has been happening in my life. But I think I want to say the same thing. I know that seems pretty weird, but I also went and got a pap smear, but only because Grace said that she was going to do it. And I was like, holy shit, I don't do things like that because I have foolishly led most of my life believing that, you can heal your life. Hey, Louise, hey, not here anymore with us on the planet because everyone ages and dies. And I was like, I don't need to be a part of I don't need doctors to check me. I don't take the medicine. I don't do all those things. But actually, I feel like I've kind of changed my belief, and not because I don't know if you listened to last week, but because I believe in aging, but because I also just want to be really conscious and connected. And doctors they play an incredible role in our society. And I think I was all like anti all that stuff for a really long time. I went and got a pap smear too.
Well done.
And
how was your experience?
Well, when I went into the doctor, I always find doctors to be really interesting kind of incredible people. And I don't have like a family doctor. I've never really stayed in one place for long enough to, I don't have a connection with any, people would be like, who's your doctor? Like, I don't know, some chick in the medical center near me. So she was Dr. Fiona. And she had a very interesting linen dress on. And she was really interesting in her delivery of communication. And I just am fascinated. So I was like, wow, this person went to medical school and now she's a doctor. And but she just seemed really kind of awkward and weird. I'm sure she's lovely. She did have very cool glasses on. And I just started quizzing her about all diseases. I think that's because I think it's because clearly I was nervous that she was about to shove something in me. So I was like, and what about this virus? And when you get this, does it stay in your body forever? And I just had a million questions because clearly I don't get to hang out with many doctors. And
she was like, I got 15 minutes.
Yeah. And I was like, well, I've got a lot of questions. So I would like to know what happens when, because God forbid I would Google any of these. Have you ever Googled? Don't Google.
Nah, I don't really do that. And
No, don't.
Oh, I burnt myself recently.
Oh, yeah.
And I Googled, what do you do when you burn yourself?
That's okay because that's like
an instant, like.
Yeah. No, that's good. Don't ever Google red lump on the inside of your mouth or anything like that. Don't ever Google itchy rash on elbow or no, dead. Basically, you are dying, and if you're not dying in real life, you'll be dying of stress for what the internet says.
Oh, sorry to just also, I found out recently that there's like dial a doctor.
I know.
And you can like call this number and it's like usually a nurse on the phone who will be like, you know, when you kind of do something or you might have hurt yourself or you feel sick or something and you maybe like don't have anyone around, you can call this number and they will, if you tell them what's going on, they'll be like, oh, you know what? It sounds like you need some serious treatment. Get yourself to the doctor or the hospital or whatever. Or they can be like your voice of reasoning, kind of like, oh okay, it sounds like this could be it, you know, or whatever your situation is. They might give you some advice to like deal with this situation in your own home before
Not
seeking medical.
Mum.
Yeah. Before seeking medical.
Sometimes doesn't know. Did you dial a doctor when you burned yourself?
No, I didn't know about it, but a client was telling me about it. And because I actually probably should have gone to the hospital really, or, you know, to get it treated because I did it at midnight. It was like the middle of the night when it happened. So, yeah, I probably, knowing now how serious burns can kind of be, if I did it again, I'd probably just take myself to an open medical place, whether it's like the hospital or 24-hour doctors or something, just to have it dressed and looked after.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a great idea for, you know, if something happens and you're just not sure and there's no one around to like, you know, when there's someone around, you'd be like, hey, like, what do you think of this? Do I need stitches?
Ask another human who doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yes. So I didn't know because I'm like, why would I need a doctor ever in my life? I mean, there's been a handful of times when I have, thankfully. Please let that be a continuing pattern. But some friends who are way more clumsy than me and probably get intoxicated a whole lot more than me told me that you can call a doctor at any time of the day and they will come to your home if you have A, slipped over drunk and cracked your head open, B, cut your hand off with a knife, also drunk. So a lot of people do weird shit in their house and they need a doctor and they can't get to emergency. That brings up another thought in my mind where I think there's like, you can probably Google it, but there's all these like random weird things that humans come into emergency for.
Oh my gosh, I love these
that
stories.
said veggie might jar up your butt?
Yes.
Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Can't even comprehend how. I guess I don't live very dangerously.
We have a lot of like nurse clientele that come to work, and so you get to hear so many stories like that, you know, like
it made me think the other day so Grace burned herself really badly on her thigh. She was trying to do something good for herself and do a bit of self-care, and I
went to steam my sinuses out and it went pear-shaped. I poured the boiling water in a bowl and brought the bowl closer to me, and as I did, it's like slopped out of the top onto myself. I've never like ripped off pants quicker in my life.
So intense. And yet she has healed so miraculously, really incredible. But it made me think, like, I think I was washing the dishes or whatever, doing something, you know, when you just have all these random thoughts. And it was like, our skin is so freaking fragile. Like, it's so fragile. You could cut it like right now on anything and it would open and burn or bleed or whatever. And yet it's also really tough. Like, we're super tough. We're super like holding shit together all the time. And we can do all the things. And like, if you watch a child like do what children do and they barely break, I mean, they probably break a little bit more than us, but yeah, it's so weird that our skin is just this skin thing that can be pierced and punctured and all the things can happen to it. And yet it's also super tough and stays where we need it to. And that's so cool.
I know. I was so impressed. I had to change the dressing daily. And every day I took the dressing off, I was so impressed. I was like, I've got more skin than I had
24
yesterday.
hours. That's so, you must be really healthy.
Like, it was so cool. Yeah. Well, the doctors said also, you know, like if that kind of burn happened to a pretty old person, like, you know, in their 80s or something, it would take longer for them to, like, it would take ages.
Infected or like some, and some people are just in different environments where they just don't heal. I feel like you've got a pretty good.
It was actually my grandma who was like, oh, Gracie, because she has sinus stuff as well, and she told me to do the whole boiling hot water thing with the Vicks. She felt terrible when she found out I'd burnt. I didn't tell her. I think my dad told her. And she felt so terrible. And I was like, you don't need to feel bad, but you don't do this.
I know.
Because that could have been her.
Yeah, it's such an old school way of doing things, isn't it?
Yeah, and the doctor told me, like, they don't tell anyone to do that anymore. They tell, if you're going to do it, for everyone who's at home listening, who might ever want to steam their sinuses, you can do it in the sink.
Yes, that's how my mum used to do it for us. Like, take the boiling water to the sink and
way
then
smarter.
Put a
like a robe.
A robe, yes.
I was actually using my
robe over you. Yeah. Yes, that's so true, because then the water is contained. That made me think of two things. One is, one of my confessions was that, and this, please don't think, just whatever, I kind of have a crush on your grandma.
She's cool.
She's so cool. Not like that kind of crush, but like, she's really cool, because I met Grace's grandma recently, and her grandma told me that, because we were just like, you know, chatting about stuff. How old is your grandma?
81.
Right. Grandma Joan, 81 years old, still raves.
She's a raver.
She is a raver, and I heard some of the tunes that she said that she dances just like me, just by herself in her living room. But for years and years, she used to invite people over every Wednesday night, and they would just dance.
Yeah.
Like,
she would do that.
I'm so into that. And she's this incredible artist and really cool. And she has like these sparkly, cool eyes.
Yeah, grandma.
Yeah, she's amazing. Awesome. Yeah. And my second thought was, how shit would it be to live in like the 1900s, or where everyone was dying all the time? Like, we are so lucky that we are in 2019 when we can dial a doctor. Or, you know,
I would have died so many times. I reckon already. Like, I would have died.
Yeah.
I don't even think I would have made it to my teenage years, really.
We are very lucky to be living in modern times, for all of the things that people say about technology and just, these days, we're pretty lucky. Okay.
Very good.
So we both got pap smears.
Epic.
I have so many other stories around all that medical stuff,
but that's a lot to talk about.
It's pretty cool. We could have been the medical medium this week. Hey, we went somewhere and it was really cool. We did an art retreat. Yes.
It was so fun. We went and stayed in an Airbnb in Woodburn.
Yeah, which is about an hour and a half south of our house.
Yeah.
Our area that we live in on the Gold Coast.
Yeah. And it was so cool.
It was epic. Okay, so
What was it?
We were kind of like, we should go and stay, you know, somewhere. Northern Rivers is like this. If you know where Byron Bay is, Northern Rivers is kind of a like between the Gold Coast and Byron Bay is classed as Northern Rivers. And we were like, we should stay in an Airbnb so we can, you know, just have like the whole weekend to do art. And so I don't know, was it me? We were just looking up Airbnbs and I found the most epic Airbnb on this massive farm in the middle of nowhere, and it was a whole train carriage, like a real train, I think it was a train in Melbourne, but it was a Japanese train, and it was the whole freaking carriage. Have you ever been on a train? Just imagine, I've been on a train. Like you're the passenger on the train, but no, you're not the passenger anymore. It's a house inside a train on a farm, and you get to do art.
It was so cool.
So cool.
I actually, when you sent me the link and you were like, how about this place? And I was like, yeah, that's sick. But I actually didn't think that we were going to stay there.
Really? Why? You thought it was a bit weird? There.
No, just because it was like almost just like too cool, like too good to be
true. Was it expensive? Do you think it was too expensive? Did we over budget for the podcast?
I didn't even look at it.
It was kind of maybe sometimes, yeah. I think sometimes I think, oh, I should, you know, not like save money or whatever, but I should, or that seems a bit expensive, or I should pick a cheaper option. But when there's experiences like this, I'm just like, yeah, oh, it's still with it. I think it was like, it wasn't $200 a night. It was like, maybe. I think we paid almost $200 each. Yeah. Anyway, we stayed there for 2 nights. And it was really fun.
It was super fun. It was almost like the train carriage part of the weekend, like, took away from the art. Like when I was talking to people about it, they're like, you're staying in a train carriage? Right. And like that became the topic of conversation, and art was like, doesn't matter.
Like we're on a train the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Except
it was pretty cold.
It was quite freezing. But the train had so there was air conditioners, and it was like, you know, it was huge. So there were 2 bedrooms and there were 2 bathrooms. Oh my gosh, there was epic showers that had radios in them.
The showers were crazy. It was cool. So weird. It was like space age almost. Like you walked into this tiny like capsule, I guess. Excuse me. I'm gonna sneeze. And you walked into this like capsule, and then there was jets like coming from all angles, and you were like, hang on a minute, where is the water coming from? Like, is it coming from the over?
It's like a waterfall, shower?
Like,
or it's
there's so many options.
Yeah, it was weird. And I think if it wasn't so cold, I would have tested out the shower a little bit more. But the other cool thing, and we will get to the art because we did do art, but the other cool thing was that this was on a property that was it was just gorgeous. There were like cows and horses and incredible skyline, so we could see the sunrise and the sunset. It was really beautiful, and not that far from our house.
I feel like it's like, I guess the purpose too of the art retreat was the art, and I feel like having somewhere and space, like time and space, that's inspiring, like was really helpful to have this like beautiful scenic space.
Yeah, definitely. Because like we can do, I mean, life is art. We're doing art right now. We could be doing art anywhere, anytime. And actually, I feel like it's something that now, well, I've got some supplies left over, so it's going to be a stronger part of my life and my daily practice. But Grace, did you go into the art retreat idea with an idea of what art you wanted to create?
I hadn't. Yeah, I kind of just wanted to be prepared for like anything I wanted to do. So like I was like, oh, you know, I might want to do some drawing. I might want to do some watercolors. I basically bought a lot of stuff, and then I was like, I'm gonna buy a canvas, and like I'm gonna have these like mixed mediums. I just had so much. I feel like I just had everything I wanted so I could create. Yeah, just mash it all together and see.
It was actually a fun experience because we went art supply shopping together and I was feeling really indecisive on the first day. I was it's such a process. And it's funny because we, throughout all these adventures that we're doing together, like we get to really witness our own behaviors and then the behavior of each other. And Grace was she was the opposite to me. She's like, I'll have this and this and this. And then just like not even... like, not that you were just buying whatever was in the store. Like, you just seemed really focused on like, yep, no, that's what I want, watercolors, and I want charcoal, and then I'm going to need this. And I was kind of overwhelmed by the choice because I was like, should I do this or should I do that? And I recognized that behavior was a little bit irritating, but I also was like, oh, I just need to like just have a look at what my options are and then come back to it.
Yeah.
Which was really cool because then I could have a little think about it. But yeah, it was cool to watch your experience because you were just really in there, just buying all the things.
Which is usually how you are. I feel like you're usually like, yeah, like this is what I want. This is how I'm doing it. This is how I'm rolling it out. Bam. Masterpiece.
We swapped. It was like Freaky Friday. But I don't feel like you're indecisive. Maybe
I can be.
You can be. I guess we all can be, but I feel like you're considered, you're discerning.
I feel
not just
like
buying shit for the sake of it.
Yeah, I feel like every decision I make is pretty thought out.
Yeah, which was beautiful to watch you with the art supplies because you maybe you had thought about it or you had experienced other things either recently or you'd been doing a bit more visual art than I have been. And so I feel like, yeah, you were like, I want this and this and this, but I took my time. But that's not to say I didn't rock up to the art retreat / train with a shitload of art supplies.
It was so funny. We had to make one last stop before hitting the road. Deanne was like, I need canvas. Mm-hmm. So we stopped.
Last minute.
And how many did you buy?
I think I got 4 canvases altogether.
And how many did you?
But I only did 1. But I'm going to do the rest.
But you've got heaps now.
Now I can just continuously do art. And we bumped into your grandma.
Ran into grandma.
Canvas. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Other artist women in the realms. And then I got so many acrylics and so many watercolors and so many brushes. And I feel really excited. I have a bag of art. And
I have a bag of art.
I've got a bag of art that I'm carrying around with me anywhere because when the mood strikes me, I'm going to art. So my concept was either sunrise or sunset. That was going to be my inspiration because I had seen photos that they were really beautiful. So you got
up for sunrise. Sunrise.
I did. I got up for sunrise and I time-lapsed it because that's what you do apparently.
I stayed asleep.
You'll have to have a little look at the video that we put together of our adventures, 2 rad chicks doing art on a train. And then it was beautiful we kind of did separate art. It was really nice to have just like our time apart, but then to come back and see what you had created.
Yeah, that was cool. You did a lot.
I was just zipping through the watercolors.
Zipping through the watercolors.
It was it was really peaceful actually. So
I know you kind of lose time, I feel like. Just kind of
gorgeous.
Dun, 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 dun.
Do you ever have like art anxiety?
I don't think so. No.
Like, do you think, I fucked this up?
I think I did on that canvas that I did. I was like, oh, this is gross. But then I was like, oh, it's art. Like, I can throw it in the bin or I can also just keep layering stuff on top of it if I wanted to like recover it. Because I feel like art's one of those things you can just keep applying more.
Adding more. That was definitely my experience. So The watercolors during the day was really beautiful, and I felt like I sat outside on the balcony. I think you were inside, and it was just really nice just having that time. We had some pretty chill tunes on, and we just got to create whatever, and I just did whatever came to mind, which is usually looks like I'm still in preschool, but I am okay with that because that is my art.
It's cool.
And so then the sun started to decide it was going to go down. I think we went and visited the cows and the horses and did all that
we did.
kind of
The
stuff.
cows ran away. The horses were up for a chat.
So beautiful. It was gorgeous. And the sun was starting to, well, potentially start. No, not it was. There was setting.
It went down really quick.
It did, quicker than we thought, because
I
we were
was
like, we've got
cool,
so
we got
much
time.
light, because I wanted to wait until that kind of beautiful golden hour and then start to art. But I was like, uh-oh.
It happened really fast.
It all just went by. And it started to get really chilly. And the process was I did a little bit of my canvas with acrylics, and then I was like, more. I just need more. I'm just going to keep doing more. But then I felt like I kind of wrapped up the process, and I took myself inside and maybe thought about like food. But Grace did not.
I was on a mission.
Was not stopping, and I didn't want to interrupt her creative flow. So I just left her out there in the pitch black darkness, painting on a canvas in the dark.
I didn't even know, when you get lost in the time, and then you're like, you stop for a minute and you look around, you're like, oh,
so cool.
It's
you must
dark
have been
out here.
freezing.
It was kind of cold.
Very cool though. Just her by the light of her iPhone, romantic, painting away on a canvas.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. It was incredible. Okay, so did we need acid?
Well, I've never experienced it, so I don't know. But I've heard it can be amazing, and lots of people were like, "Yeah, do it." Like that's an epic idea, and maybe it is, and maybe it is something that I might do one time.
Yeah, same. But
I don't think we needed it.
The word of the weekend was unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
It was unnecessary because I still felt, okay. So we didn't take acid. We tried.
We tried to get some. We tried to be prepared.
We tried to just make sure that we had everything that we could possibly want there. And
it can actually be hard to get.
Yeah.
Not many people do it, I don't think, these days. I think that's why it can be hard to get.
Yeah.
Or what I've been told
There's
anyway.
so many other things going on. Yeah. A friend told me that they got, basically it's the Uber Eats of drugs. Just like brought them drugs in 20 minutes the other night. So acid, we're just not, I guess we're just not in that circle. And that's okay. I'm really happy about that. We didn't take acid because for a long time we were calling it acid and art. It was even in my calendar, acid, like that. The art and the train wasn't even coming into it.
Yeah.
But what was so beautiful was that as the process, as we decided like this is the date and then we're going to do art, we're going to take acid and we're going to go somewhere beautiful, the priorities kind of shuffled because we were like, oh, we found somewhere really beautiful.
Yeah.
And so that was like life-giving and mind-altering enough. I felt, for me.
I think so. I think that was, exciting and inspiring and And the place was so awesome and beautiful. I think if you're going to do something like that, you probably want to be somewhere that you're quite familiar with or like deeper in nature where, you know, you can.
It just depends. I actually don't know if I've taken acid. I know what you're thinking. What a trash bag. But I have had many different experimentations and experiences in my times with mind-altering substances. Not a trash bag, but just for life's sake. But I don't know if I know everyone's like, you would know if you took acid. It's a long story and there was one incident and I don't know. So let's say that I haven't. I feel like I've come, it's like, you know how, you've come to this clean slate of, so I don't think I've taken acid either.
Okay.
I would know.
There you go.
So I feel like, and so I mentioned that.
I feel like you were pretty nervous. Like
Yes, I
you were quite
mentioned that
nervous.
because in the week leading up to it, I was doing all this research to make sure that, we were like feeling really healthy and alive and vibrant, and that we were going to be really compatible acid partners. And like I was really thinking about it a lot. I think because I take my how do I say this without sounding like I take my drug I take my drug experiences these days very not seriously, but it's special occasions. It's important. It's a whole experience.
Special
it's a full
occasion.
body undertaking or a mind expanding. So I was like, yeah, I wanted to think about it really carefully.
Yeah.
So I think we did the online test. Are you compatible acid partners?
Yeah, there was multiple questions.
I didn't have any. Yeah, there was no stress about that with Grace because I think we would just laugh the whole time because that's what we normally do in real life without acid.
Could have been dangerous. We could have laughed ourselves to death.
Laughed our heads off.
Do you think so?
We could have laughed.
Imagine if I came back to Coolangatta with your head
she
and
just
your
laughed
body.
her head off. She laughed until I could have choked on my laugh because I laugh a lot, right? Do I laugh a lot? Not really.
Yeah. But it's all like I'm laughing too. So I don't know. Maybe I'm a bad.
I think when we get on a roll, I can just laugh a lot till my brain hurts and my abs feel like I get cramps. But it's good. It's a great workout. I have a friend who's a laughter. Have you been to laughter yoga?
Oh, my auntie actually. Oh, she doesn't do the whole class laughing, but at the end she does.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I used to do it in Japan all the time and it's really beautiful. But laughter. Anyway, acid. Yes, we didn't take acid. We might take acid at one point because it seems like a really cool idea. Are you tired?
No.
Yes, yawning.
I'm
busted.
not yawning.
Busted. It's okay. All right. So maybe we should wrap it up and we should think about our songs. Nah. Is there anything else that you need to tell us about the acid and art without acid? I mean, art on a train, art retreat.
Art retreat.
I think what the moral of that story is okay, we had thought we were going to do all these. We thought the experience was going to be one thing, but then it morphed and turned into something else that was just as beautiful and amazing. And we still kind of went into it with like this open mind and open heart, and we did the art and
and we had all this really tasty food that was really good as well. I don't know.
And since then I had a day where I felt a little bit wobbly around some like kind of personal stuff, and a friend was going through some heartbreak and I really was feeling for her, and I took my watercolors down to the water and I painted and I had some time to myself and flow. And I was like, oh, if we hadn't have done that art retreat, I would have been like, oh, I don't have time for that, or I won't.
That's so cool.
But I reignited that feeling of flow through painting. Yeah.
It's so nice. It's such a nice thing to do, like spend just quiet time doing that. I find it like a recharge thing for me. Like it's good.
Yeah, it was really beautiful to watch how you just kind of relax into it.
Or take it really seriously.
Oh, so serious.
Focus.
But you have to have a look at the video that we put on YouTube about this experience, because Grace's art, she gets in. She's in the flow. It's really, and the results, because for me, it's not really about, like I asked before about art anxiety, but it's not really about what the results are.
Yeah, no.
It's like that beautiful process of.
Yeah.
And then we ended up going to the country and another part of our amazing island, and just doing an afternoon of art too. So it's kind of
very cool.
In the flow. Yeah. Anything else about art?
I think what
art do you do?
Talked about it.
I feel like we're both really creative humans that do lots of different things. But so when I use the word art, I'm like, I know it can encompass so many different things, but we kind of canvas, paint, paint
visual.
brushes. Yeah.
We dabbled in visual art for the weekend.
We did. It was really beautiful. Fun. It was a nice, beautiful flow. Cool. Wow. And we were on a train. Songs. Do you have your songs?
Yeah.
Our
I think so.
weekly obsessions.
Oh, I'll let you go first.
Okay, so just like I always like to do, I created some playlists for the art training.
Retreat, you did.
But when I was like sitting down during the week, maybe I was getting really excited because I was like, ooh, am I going to take acid? I don't know. Like, what's the experience going to be? So I made a few playlists, and one of those was called the Art Retreat Rave.
When Deanne messaged me and told me that she'd made a rave playlist, I got a little bit nervous because I haven't raved that much.
No. Well, you don't need to rave to enjoy my rave playlist.
No, you don't.
No, but it can be irritating coming out of a little speaker. It can be irritating coming out of a big speaker. But 2 songs. Now, the first one, so they're both on the Art Retreat Rave, which is a private playlist on Spotify because, yeah, it's a bit irritating. But the first one you actually gave to me, and this is not ravey at all. And by ravey, I mean electronic music with a high BPM, high-ish BPM. This one is super chill, and it's called Have You Ever Been? And in brackets to Electric Ladyland by Napalm. Naipalm, Naipalm. It's really smooth.
Cool.
It's a grace.
I love
definitely a
smooth
grace.
move.
It's not a rave.
Mine are very smooth this week.
Very smooth. So dip into that one. And then one that is a little bit on the ravey end of the spectrum. Mus and I heard this. So we have a local radio station which is called Radio Metro, and I remember it from when I was a 90s raver. It was my favorite radio station. It's only on the Gold Coast, and yeah, it's called Radio Metro, and they play dance music basically all day long. So I am locked on that one. And the other night I was driving home and I heard this interesting remix. It's called Tracy in My Room, the Lazy Dog Bootleg.
Tracy in My Room.
Laugh, laugh, laugh. But it's Everything But the Girl. Again, is that 2000s? That's 2000s. It's Everything But the Girl, Soul Vision. It's like a mix of, do you know the song where she sings? If you don't know Everything But the Girl, then you won't know this. But she says, wherever you go, I will follow you because I was wrong. Now, of course, I'm never wrong, but that song is...
Gotcha.
Gets you in the heart.
Gotcha.
Okay, so...
Okay.
What are yours, Silky?
Well, all right. I'm going to give you a silky one. That's off a Bad Not Good album called Late Night Tales. And it is called Work. And they on this album it's really cool. They're quite like jazzy, but they've got heaps of different artists that join them on this album. So the female vocalist on this is her name's Charlotte Day Wilson, and yeah, it's a very silky, like sexy song. And then I've also been this week listening to a little confession of mine is that I enjoy listening to some like just like instrumental piano pieces.
Beautiful.
So there's an album called Winter Stories that I really like by a guy called Fabrizio Patolini. And there's a particular song on here that I really like, and it's called My Misty Mornings. It's quite dramatic, but I feel like when I I feel like when I'm daydreaming, I'm constantly like, I'm playing like a mini film in my mind all the time. And when I listen to that song or that music, I can picture like, it's so dramatic, but I like to like give contrast to things. And I'm like, oh, like this would be an epic piece in like, like some kind of romance film or like, but then at the same time, I can see it playing in some like, what's that show, that Australian show about drug, Underbelly?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
watched
can
that for
feel like you can
ages.
listen to it and almost see someone like being really violent and like, but I'm like, that's bad, you know, that's not nice. But I'm like, you could probably like throw it over any kind of
That's pretty cool.
film and
Any of the movies that
it
you're
would
going to
still
make.
work. Yeah.
That's why music.
It's so good. I love it.
Yeah, soundtrack to your life. Get on it. 4 songs. And if you haven't, you can go back to our other podcasts and check out our other weekly obsessions. We give 2 songs every week. That's just a plug to our awesomeness.
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right, we've done so many adventures and our life is expanding because of them. And we hope that it's inspiring to you guys as well. What should we do next, Grace?
Well, we could we could go and have an experience with San Pedro.
Yep. What's that?
It is I think it's a cactus.
It is a plant medicine. Yes,
Plant
it
medicine.
is. It's a cactus. Yep.
Yeah.
They're really cool. They're really massive and they're really beautiful. And for a very long time, humans, mostly in the South Americas, have been ingesting them to have a greater vision of life and an understanding of the whole entire freaking cosmos. Do you want to do that? Is that what you want to do? Could you? Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. So when we first went, I'm going to like another little story. When we first went into this whole experience of Two Rad Chicks do adventures that expand and inspire and liberate and empower, I was like, I'm going to do Cambo. And Cambo is frog medicine from the Amazon. It's everywhere now. It's in Australia. And what they do is they apparently humanely, who knows, vegans, don't come for me, they scrape the secretion, the poison from the back of these massive frogs. And then what they do is, because us humans are weird like this, they burn 3 or 4 points, burn it with like an incense or a stick into your body and it poisons you. I know, how freaking stupid.
Sounds so fun.
Yeah, what a good idea. Except, and I'm doing a whole bunch of disrespect to the sacred medicine here by taking the piss, but it makes you very sick for a short amount of time. It's probably a 4-hour process. I'm not condoning this, by the way, if you don't know anything about this, or please don't go and poison yourself, because I thought it might be a good idea because I haven't done it. But it was one of the things on my list. Like, we kind of made a list of what we would do, what we wanted to do to expand and empower and liberate our lives. And then like have a friend, Grace, to hold your hand and do it with you. And Cambo was one of them. And I haven't yet done the frog medicine. I think that I'm about to. Everyone close to me, like Masa, is shaking his head right now. Everyone's like, don't do it. That's a stupid idea. But I also have many friends who are either shaman or practitioners of administering the medicine. And I have done a lot of research. So I will do it for cleansing sake, for purity of mind, body, and soul. So when Grace said that we have access to another plant medicine that is not a poison, actually, well, plant medicine, it's a frog medicine, a plant medicine, I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Do you know anything about it, Grace?
No, not really.
Great.
I mean, I know that
start.
it's just like, I know from what I've been told from people who have experienced it, is that it's just like, just a nice feeling, and you know, it sounds pretty chill, really.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like pretty.
It's not ayahuasca.
Chill.
We're not going on any, like, there's no, to my knowledge, I mean, unless you're just feeling the vibes, we will not be shitting ourselves or vomiting.
Yeah.
Although that can happen on any given day, whether or not
True.
you ingest cactus or not. And yeah, so it's not a party drug. We're not doing drugs. We're not like, doing a couple of lines and heading down to the local pub to drink some bourbon. That is not what we're doing, because we really love and respect our bodies and our minds and our experiences. We are going to ingest some clean plant. Do you eat plants? Do you?
Plant eater.
Plant eater. I'm a plant eater too.
You're a plant eater.
Don't eat anything else.
No discrimination.
And this is another plant. It just so happens that this plant is going to do something to us. You should wait and see. Ooh. So we're not going to go far away like we did the other day. We're just going to try to go. We live near the Tweed River, so we're just going to try to hang out there somewhere pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
But just spend the day, because I think it lasts for about 10 hours.
I think that's what I've heard.
Yeah. So we're just going to do that, and we might do some more art. Yeah. I would love to do some writing. Yeah, we could do some writing activities. I would love to write some stuff. We're going to come back and let you know what the experiences are of this incredible plant medicine that I'm so grateful that you got your hands on. Yes. Just fell into my lap. As things do, which means it's a sign, right? It's a sign. Is there anything else that we need to discuss about that? I don't think so. No. Feels good. Yeah. Feels easy. And that's what it's about. Easy. I think is this for you too, Grace? I think in life there's lots of things where you're like, oh, I'd like to do that. Oh, and I probably won't do it. Or, yeah. And that's what this podcast is all about. Finding things that feel like, oh, I'd like to experience that. And if it's easy and it all kind of falls into place for us, we've been so lucky. And I feel like with the stuff we've been doing, it's just kind of happens, and it's it all just falls into place like a perfect Tetris game. Yeah. It's just and that's a real commentary on life in flow. It's when you say yes to certain things that feel like, yeah, this is a yes. And then you take that action towards that, and it's really positive. Then you either have courage or something else just opens up, you meet someone or you bump into something, or another experience will present itself to you. So that's what we're doing. Exciting. I can't wait to share what happens and what we come up with. Epiphanies galore. I know. So exciting. I'm excited. Grace is so excited she's going to fall off her chair. I feel like it just means I don't know what I have no expectations, and I think that's a good way to go into it. Yeah. I'm kind of excited to see if it will spark any kind of other creative flows for me. Yeah, for me too. Just kind of like a clearing, and I feel like that's what plant medicine, or that's what, and even some chemical drugs as well. Again, I'm not condoning the use of anything illegal, but it just opens, if it's done in a way that is kind of respected and a little bit more ceremonial and relaxed, then it does. It's like a clearing. Yeah. It opens you up to something else. Maybe. We shall see. Full amazing respect to all great things that heal you. So good. Cool. Thanks for coming by. Yeah. Thanks for stopping in. Let me just pick one more card. Oh, no. This is what I shall release when it comes to the San Pedro, and it is my inner demons. Grace, pick a card right now to cleanse. All right. My inner demons? What am I don't even have any. What am I cleansing? Ew. Taking a sheep wife. What does that even mean? I don't even know what that means. What's a sheep wife? You're going to marry a sheep? I'm going to look it up. We are potentially going to the country. Sheep wife. A sheep wife. I think that means you're a sheep, a animal. I'm looking it up. Having a shag in the back of a ute. I don't know about this Cards Against Humanity. That was going to be my confession, that I had never played it, and then we got it when we went on van life, and Grace bought it, and then I was like, I don't know if I think they're all funny. What's wrong with me?
I think it's a reference to...
Something to do with New Zealand?
Okay, a man walks into his bedroom with a sheep on a leash. He says, "Honey, this is the cow I make love to when you have a headache." Oh, this is bad.
That's what I mean. Cards Against Humanity.
That's gross.
There's so many like, ooh, no, not funny. Wait, bestiality.
Maybe.
Hashtag not happening. Women in yogurt commercials. I have not clearly seen a yogurt commercial since I was very...
All right, we better stop.
Okay, last one. Here we go.
Chainsaws for hands.
Ooh, stop it. Where's the funny at? I think we did get a few funny ones.
That could work for me, you know.
What are you
I
doing?
could cut heaps of hair.
Oh, that's
I could cut
right.
heaps
You're
of
Edward
hair.
Scissorhands. Are you chopping down all the trees in your backyard? Okay, logging. All right, that's another topic that we won't be talking about anytime soon. Okay, amazing. Cards Against Humanity. I think that they need to do a way sexier one.
Now there's an idea.
Write our own cards. We are going to see you after we are expanded beings of awakened light, love, and...
My face shape might change. Let us know if it does.
We'll see you next time.
See you soon.